So if it is broken, mend it if you care for the environment. So today there are 1107 repair cafes in the world. So anybody has heard of repair cafes? Okay, no problem. So what is the secret behind 1107 repair cafes operating worldwide? Is that special gene of repair which makes one immediately friendly. So there is this recent survey happened. There is the volunteers, participants, they are being asked questions that why you want to conduct repair cafe. One is that they want to encourage others to live sustainably. They want to encourage repairing. And this is their way of contributing to the society. And they want to be part of this movement which is about product repairability and longevity. So, recently there is a couple who have spent 65 years of their married life. And we have two gentlemen who happens to be my in-laws. So, they're being asked that how you have survived your 65 years of marriage. So the women will quickly reply, in our generation we have learned to repair than throwing it away. India is a repair country. What is the difference between repairing and recycling, if anybody knows? Because these are the terms which are mostly used in conjunction with each other, but they are not the same terms. Anybody?
I think repairing is fixing and again using the same thing.
Yes.
Recycling is repurposing into something else.
Yes. So what is the difference is in the recycling, the discarded material become the product for the next material, for the next finished good. And the form is also changed. In repairing, you take this damaged good and bring it to an undamaged condition. And you may continue to use in that form. So coming back to India, when India is a repair country, anything which comes in your mind, what does it mean? India is a repair country.
Yeah. There are these small shops in different places where they repair grinders and mixies and house appliances.
Okay.
So whenever something breaks, we have a habit of fixing it.
Yes, you're right. Yeah. So here I have laid out some few objects in front of you. So these are few visiting cards which you can just see. So I want to ask you a few things that what do you come out of it, what do you think of it? Maybe I'll just start from you, I'll give you an object like something like this. What do you think of it?
Scrap.
Yeah, okay, very good. You?
Piece newspaper.
Okay. This is, I want you to think about, in the context of Indian household, the thing about repairing, recycling and reusing. So what do you...
Looks like a stool too.
Okay.
There's more of this. You guys can.
It's very creative. Yeah. Anybody? Okay, I just dumped it. Anybody?
I remember my mom like using all the old paper to cover something or something.
Very nice. Very nice. So that's the reusing of things.
Yes.
That's very nice. So yeah.
It's probably worth 10 rupees.
You're coming to the point. You're coming to the point.
It's a source of income for the maybe a lower strata.
Okay.
Nadiwala.
Okay.
Kabadiwala.
Kabadiwala.
What's her name?
Madhuri.
Madhuri. Okay. So I think clap for her. So the guys, I'm talking about the great role of kabadiwalas or bhangarwalas in our day-to-day life. And still today, you heard them 3 times in a day honking in your gullies. How do they shout? Do you remember?
Paper lelo.
Huh?
Paper lelo.
Yeah, paper lelo, paper. Kabadiwala. No, they don't call it kabadiwala. They call it paper. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, paper. That's correct. So what is the importance? Importance is in the time of when we have, in our household, when this humble sparrow and concept of family doctor is slowly going away. These kabadiwalas or bhangarwalas, they have still retained their position. And whether you stay in a multi-storied building or whether you stay in a plotted house or anything, wherever you stay, you look towards them. You have one kabadiwala which is coming to your colony where you recognize him and you give him your scrap or junk. Even further, these kabadiwalas, so even in a household, if you remember, many of us, we have our household jewelers, which we look forward to give us jewelry without impurities, or gold without impurities, diamond without flaws. Kabadiwalas have also retained their position where you look forward towards them to give them fair price of your scrap and junk. So this is that nostalgia of our household, our younger age when we have seen, and also still today some of it we are still seeing. So this is an empty cardboard box. Okay, so some little thing is on. So anything you remember out of this cardboard box, I'll come to you because you have already mentioned some point. Do you remember?
I think I'll keep all my junk in it.
Yes, that's correct. So this I'm talking about the virtue of reuse in our household. I'm a homemaker, so whenever I see many creative things, how I can use this, pieces into some creative way or maybe I just see, I'm not a creative person, but I'll see, okay, what is the usable, if I have books to keep, if I have some files to keep, if I have, as you said.
That's what I do in my office. I have the same similar thing.
Yes.
I keep all my files in it.
Yes. So, in our Indian society, so this is something like from the cardboard, somebody has made in our repair cafe. You can have a look. Just for regular uses. I mean, it's not very beautiful looking and all that, but something which the person has made out of it. So, in our Indian society, have you heard of this great Indian patchwork?
Yeah. Actually, using waste materials.
Yes.
Patchworks.
Yeah. So it's there in various forms in every state.
Yeah, it's called different things in different states.
Different state, yeah. And I also remember one of these glass bottles that we all have.
Yeah.
So how do you use it?
You use a storage container, like from Kabadiwala, you just buy those similar kind of one, so that fits right into your shelf.
Yes.
So yeah, you use it to store.
To store something.
Yeah.
I use it for making it a flower vase because that's a simple way of I can use it. I mean, I don't buy it. I have already. I keep it. I don't give it to them. So anything else you remember?
A lampshade. You can use it as a lampshade bottles.
Yes. This is a new trend which is now coming up. Yeah.
I think they've also started building walls with old alcohol.
Yes.
I always used to find it very funny that I see people that have never drunk in their life, but repurposing like a vodka bottle for their water.
Yes. That's true. So coming back to these cards, I think all of you have seen the cards. So what is it that strikes in your mind? Yes. You're coming.
I go to take to some place to prepare my mixie.
Very nice. I think clap for Selvan. So he brought me to this oldest network of repair markets in India and to be specific in Bangalore. Yeah, you remember that special place on the dressing table, which is a sewing kit, which comes handy when you have to knit that loose button of your shirt while going late for the office. Yeah. And remember, recently, the sand stuck in my camera lenses when I was running from pillar to post to get it repaired. And then I was looking to various service centers, and finally somebody told me that there's this great Gandhi Bazaar. Any of you have heard Gandhi Bazaar? So Gandhi Bazaar offers anything and everything under the sun for repairing of camera lenses, any model. You talk about any model. You just need to know the right shops. Yeah, going to the bylanes of Commercial Street, you can see that there are cloth repairers, there are jewellery repairers, there are bag repairers. SP Market, which is known for electrical and electronic repairs. Yeah. And Antara, I am very grateful to Antara. She has introduced me to this market which is nearby my house called Tipsandra. And I was so relieved that I have a repair market which is just, stone's throw away. And Tipsandra is known for electrical and mechanical repairs. Yeah. So there's this is a network of repair markets which are there for ages. Yeah. So this infrastructure is there for ages. Any market which you guys are associated with? You go often for repairing?
Or in general.
Or in general, just for shopping?
A lot of jewelry stores are there in Raja Market. Avenue Road.
Avenue Road. Yes.
It's known. So there's cotton pad for paper.
Yes.
You're getting it in bulk.
Yes.
And then there's Avenue Road for rolled books.
Yes.
That people don't practical.
Yes.
So the entire area is for different stuff.
Yes. That's correct. That's correct. Any other example? I'm sure we all go to markets, no?
SP Road for tools.
Yes, SP Road for tools. That's correct. That's correct. Okay. So coming back to tools. Okay, I have this. So who I'm going to hit? So what it comes in your mind, this tool?
I just saw Raman Raghav.
Okay. Okay. So I'm talking about the importance of tool in our household. Yeah. So do you remember what all tools you use at home? I mean, anything? Screwdrivers. Yes.
Pliers.
Pliers.
Yes. Very nice. So do you know even gods carry tools?
Yes.
Any example?
Visual.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that weapon that he carries, which actually looks like a weapon, is not actually a weapon. It's a tool, tools and guidance which we use it for our life. For example, Vishnu's, I don't know what is the use of that Trishul that he carries, but maybe it's destruction, right? What is the importance? So coming back to Goddess Durga, she carries these sacred objects in her hand. One of the objects would be the knife. So knife is a tool which is symbolizes liberation in our life, which we want to liberate, getting liberation out of waste in our life or maybe pollution or whatever. So tools play a very important role in our life, and it is, so any of you remember your grandparents, that how they are so nostalgic about the toolbox, and you as a child wants to just go and fiddle with it, and you remember any such instance? I think he's already in thought process. Something will come out. So all these things are slowly not there, or maybe it has come in a new form. I don't know. The youngsters are using, they say that in our generation or maybe generation.
Children want to play with tabs now.
Yeah, I was coming to that point. That maybe in our generation, this whole tool concept has changed. It has come to in the form of a C language or Java or something, and that we are trying to use these tools for making some apps or whatever. So, and maybe some of your architects, so I don't know, AutoCAD may be a tool or something. In spite of all this infrastructure and everything that we have in India and how we are connected with it, repairing is a dying skill.
Most of you will agree to it?
Yes.
Okay, this is a picture. Do anybody recall?
The launch.
Yeah, it was Mangaland, right? And it was dated September 29th, 2014. All the leading newspapers have this picture or other pictures about, ISRO celebrating the women scientists, or rather all the scientists celebrating. And what happened on the same day evening, there was Bangalore saw like a really bad rainfall. Like it was, pretty high for that 1 hour, 2 hour. And Old Airport Road, where ISRO offices, had craters as big as moon. But to me, it struck to me, this incident, I couldn't get it out of my head for whatever reason. And I found this is a good opportunity to talk about it and why I felt so strongly about it. I like to think through why a lot of times, and I have come up my own reasons why we are so apathetical about issues that are immediately very important to us, but we kind of sideline and find who is responsible. Not me, but somebody out there. Okay, so and if I'm into education and learning and cognition and children, and somewhere down the line, I think we have moved from being physical beings to very conceptual beings. We are using our heads 90% of the time. We don't use our, other things that we have. We live in our heads, and it's easy to sideline, what's practical, what's daily, what's mundane, what's boring. Because we can get out of context in no time. We can think of Brazil and football and this and that, and we live in a world that we like to live. And there are other reasons where I don't think I'm going to run out of gas in my lifetime. So why bother? Money is an end for me. It's not really a means, because if I have a lot of choices, I have the money, so I have the choices. So I'm not going to think really, more than that. This is a very typical question of a deserted island. If you are one of you, or some of you are in a deserted island, what happens? What do you need to survive?
Swimming.
Skills.
With food. Do you think you'll survive with just only drinking water, and do you think sea will provide you drinking water?
Skills.
Okay, skills. Basic skills, life skills. Can we call it life skills? Yeah. How about mending a broken board if it's around? If broken, we want repair. Why are we harping on repair? It's important to know. He is Mr. Tyagarajan. He's one of our repair experts. If I'm trying to compare myself with him, why I don't repair and why he does. Now, I don't have time for it. I don't have patience for it. I haven't seen people doing it around me. I never felt the inclination to go and try. I was told to read, to write, to do academically well. I need to do, very well. I should be able to speak well. I should be able to do other things than using my hands. I'm not sure if I was really told to use my hands more often. And if I try to profile him or others who actually are into repairing, well, he might belong to a little either non-metro or some rural pockets of the city, and which actually implies he has a lot of time. That's how I will see it. And he probably is not pushed into rigorous, what we have been pushed at. I mean, most of you are. Okay, school, college, this, that, work. We are streamlined into thinking this is what is meant for you. But for him, he might have a lot of time to think other things for himself.
I would like to introduce Mr. Neres. He's part of her team.
At one of the repair cafe centers we had once, there was an old man, quite old, about in his 70s. He brought an old fan to us. And he told us that this fan he has taken to many repair shops and he is unable to get it repaired. So I said, okay, we'll check it out. If the winding is gone, we cannot do it now, but we'll try and do it. So we opened the fan out and we checked the winding. The winding was okay. It was only the connecting wires to the winding which were burnt out. So what we did was we resoldered wires to the winding and fitted the entire fan back again together. And then it started working. So he was thrilled, and it's still running at his home now.
So that day, I think that's his major achievement.
Yeah, it takes time. Repairs takes time, but repairs is quite simple. It's not. It's sometimes it's just a plug that is not okay. Sometimes it's just a fuse that needs changing. So repairs is easy if you can attempt to do it, or just try it out. Use a multimeter. If you don't know how to use a multimeter, go on the net and check it out how to use a multimeter. And repairs is not difficult at all. It only takes time and a little patience.
Okay, thank you, Alice. Okay, now talking about skills. I've picked this up from somewhere, but I really believe in it. And it says human resource can be looked at unlimited bounty of creativity, knowledge, and energy source. But what happens? We're just functioning like in a very linear format. We don't really are aware of what else can I do? How else can I be more active, involved, engaged? So time is a big constraint, and I have this theory about how we are oriented, a very mechanical, our orientation of time is very mechanical. It's been divided into hours, minutes, seconds. Since school, you're supposed to, get things done, finish. You're always given a time slot. apparently, for everything in life, starting 5 years ago. Product versus process. Now, with this I mean most of us in general are very tuned into products. Now, how it looks, what it works, functionality, or branding, logo, we understand it very well. But how about the process? What about the process? Who makes it? Where is it getting made? I'm talking about general product we use, everyday product. I'm not talking about high end or low end. I'm just talking about a phone for that matter. Control experiences. Now, as urban human, we have made tremendous progress, right? So our progress, what is our progress here, is that we have extreme control of the experiences that we would like. I know what I want. I know how the coffee should be. I know exactly how much sugar it should have. And I repeat my experiences. I have no room for unknown. I have no room for non-result oriented processes or happenings in my life. I am averse to not having control of my situation or my experience. And that again is a psychological thing that really plays and makes you push away things that you might have tinkered, but you are not. And children are a good example. Why they don't follow adults? Because they are explorers. Now, would anybody like to talk about this? Because I know a lot of you are into processes.
So, as Kevin was saying earlier, so we are a design strategy company, and we do a lot of research.
Right.
And for us, process is the key, because as researchers and user experience designers, end product is not key for us. We want to do a very rigorous process, and that will eventually lead to something that's usable, something that fits the context or what the client is looking for.
I have a question for you. So when the client gives you a brief, is it open-ended or he already knows the output?
It depends. I think looking at a project that we just did, it was around product development. So they had a sense of exactly what they wanted this system of tools to accomplish. Where we added a lot of value was using that human-centered approach to engage with the people that would use the product. That actually led to the development of the actual, how it manifested in the physical sense.
Okay.
But we usually start with abstraction, and then we come in and add a little definition to it.
All right. So now I'm talking of very, very simple processes, because now most of us are part of processes that are very specific, that are specialized, and we are far removed from the rest of the bit that products will eventually have. So we are basically disconnected in some way with the product. That's what I'm trying to tell you. 2 generations down the line, somebody working in a mill, a garment factory, it was indigenous, the systems were more indigenous. He might know the place exactly where his, the raw material is coming. He know the workers pretty well. He was more in tune with the process, unlike us. This is, probably where we are. We are deep into a complex system of processes where we just want to know what we are doing, and we are not really bothered what others are doing. Now here I'm actually talking about repairing skills, how it is very similar to creative skills. I have some points here. Time and patience, you should have ample of it and not get stuck in deadlines and things like that. Interest and orientation, that is a key to any form of creativity. Now, again, understanding process, giving it more importance over product, and not hurrying, to finish. Because most of us, we doubt ourselves and, hey, I don't think I can repair. I don't want to get into it. Now, association, and so association is tool association, familiarity. When I bought it, do you know what it's used for? It breaks ceramic tiles. Yeah. And this is to break glass. Just I'm wary of it. I don't know. So the idea is to actually destroy a few things, and this is where I'm coming from, is how children behave. If you give them tools, what they do, they are very sure that they want to break a few things, and they're not bothered about it. So, maybe if you get into something, repairing things, you might get it wrong a few times. But it's about going back and doing it again. And I also feel creative process is very responsive. So you do something, it does something to you. So we have this Babu who fixes lenses in Alsur. So if you go to his shop, you will see the entire shop being stacked into these boxes. And he has like 100 millions of pins and this and that. And he knows what he has. He intuitively, the knowledge of tools and gadgets and how to do things, it's very intuitive knowledge. And I think a lot of creative people also have that, about how to use the tools and what it can do to you and how to use it. I have a few samples of nails here. Now my carpenter would immediately look at the nail and he doesn't need to know the size. He'll look at the nail and he'll know whether it'll go in a wooden box or the wall. A lot of people have taken repair to a level where the output or what they are using an old shoe and making it a state-of-the-art repaired thing. So I have these are places in England, Italy, some places in Europe where old shoes become like this. They are very expensive to go to, but you have a very fine Italian leather shoe that is going bad. The idea is when you already buy a shoe which is extremely expensive, and you can't afford to chuck it. So what do? So there are these state-of-art repair stores where they will give you back the shoe as good as new, and they will mend it in a way that it adds a little more value. So one factor when she was mentioning cost and time, when we are strived about cost and time, and we don't really know the quality of the material that the thing is made. We are generally not so much aware, especially in India. We are very cost effective and we have cost as a main concern. So when I'm buying a shoe, they tell me it's leather, but I'm not very sure. So that if it's genuine leather, which used to happen maybe 10, 20 years down the line, but now you can't really make out the difference from genuine leather. So this is actually an example of clock, watches, jewellery. They are all, there are shops in India and abroad where they work, it's a state-of-the-art repair centers. And people have to pay quite a bit, but then you get your things repaired. These are actually images from Pinterest. I just stumbled upon something called mending that is seen. It's a craft mending. A lot of people are doing it and it's like a big thing on internet. There are more of this. Apparently, Finland and the Nordic countries are also very high on visible mending, which becomes a piece of craft. This is a French sewing, which is actually mending a hole in lace and such fabric. This is a Japanese technique of mending by gold. So it adds more value. So the idea is to make, it's a possibility, it's happening, it's out there, but we are not really aware of this. This is Katha. That's what she was referring to about patchwork.
Yes.
This is one kind of patchwork that happens in Bengal. And if I'm not very wrong, Harvard took up a study of Katha, and it was actually talking about frugal economy and frugal innovation. So when cotton really fades very well and becomes softer eventually, so almost it's muslin, malmal, they're all the same category. And you can pile them on and stitch and use for babies. And it was a traditional thing. I mean, most of our families have done it for us. And it's also a tradition of gifting. A katha where you use all layers of old cloth and then you decorate with drawings, designs, poems. It's there in our society, but we have somehow lost track. This is a picture that I've taken a long time back. I went to Sheesh Mahal in Jaipur. Yeah, this guy was from Madhya Pradesh. He was restoring. He was using POP and some kind of inlay work he was doing. So I spoke to him a bit, and he told me that he just knows this. That's what he does, and he's been doing it since 10 years old, aiding his grandfather. He's been with him, and he's learned this work. And I'm sure, I don't have enough examples, but every locality in India, every heritage centers will have somebody like this working. This was Satpati. This guy is called Satpati. He basically is a temple repair guy. And apparently in this story that we pulled out, he's a Muslim who actually changes his attire and puts white, that dust. And he works in men's metal parts of the temple.
Yeah,
We were
you're right.
discussing about
Yeah.
how a lot of us had our surnames come from our skills.
Skills,
You know,
yeah.
that's a very olden way to acknowledge or understand. If you know the surname, you will know what skill he has. And that's not only Indian, I think even in Europe, that's the way surnames happen. This is a photo essay I pulled out from alternative.in. They went around Delhi, market in Delhi, Mayapuri, which is actually a recycle center for electronic goods and especially these desktops. The whatever toxic, chemicals, it actually goes into this nala.
Have you heard of this recent survey which is released by SHM on e-waste? It says that Bangalore is number 3 in India after Mumbai and Delhi, and it is producing. Can any guess about how much it is producing e-waste? In metric tons, something in thousands. 90 to 1000 metric tons is produced by Bangalore. This is very latest figure, and we are third in India. Yeah. So out of which 3% is a household waste. E-waste only categorizes about computer peripherals, all these telecom equipments and this kind of things. I'm not talking about household electrical electronics. So in this only 3% is what households are,
Trashing.
and so it says presently we have 18.5 lakh metric tons per annum. This is overall, and it is expected to increase to 30 lakh metric tons by 2018, and we have no solution for it.
We know that we should recycle, but what does it take? And in India, unfortunately, it's not an organized sector. Laborers who are underpaid, children work for it. They are exposed to toxic chemicals, liquids and whatnot. This is actually an example of a place in Chennai called Pudupet. Pudupet is known. Anybody heard of this?
Yeah.
I'm from Chennai.
So you would know.
Yes, the automobile.
Yeah.
Yes. So what is it about it?
Basically, the entire areas have automobile scrap and all kinds of automobile repairs and scraps. Everything is there. You go there, any part you need, you'll have it there, basically.
Yes.
And the sad part is that Purna has been trying to get in touch with recyclers to know more of what happens when you break down things, where does it go, what is the process. But we have been not able to find much into it because it's highly unorganized. There is no government support to put a system to it, and it's labor intensive. It emits carbon dioxide. It is very expensive to put a process to it right now, and it's in a bad shape when it comes to India.
Yeah, more than 90% is unorganized. We have no processes laid out for recycling yet, and it is a child labor intensive area. EPR, have you heard of EPR? Okay, EPR also. Solid waste management new rules which have come in 2016. So Indian government has become very proactive, and now there are a lot of new things are happening. EPR is extended producer's responsibility. Do you know that when we go abroad, there is a 2% of charge which are taken as a recycle charge? Do you know that? Yeah. So it becomes the manufacturer takes this into account because finally it comes to his head for recycling of the product. In India, it is still not happening. Any company you talk about, they just sell the product and get away with it. Going forward, it will be producer's responsibility to recycle the product. So when this EPR will be in place, because now it is placed as policy, when it actually be implemented, then the manufacturer will start thinking about making it more design friendly, repair friendly, so that it should not be, their cost of recycling should be less. So this has already happened in India.
And I think A-Star, Maruti Suzuki A-Star, they had to toil a lot because they wanted their cars to sell in Europe, and Europe has very strict manufacturer responsibility policies. So they had to make the vehicle in such a form that it could be recycled easily, and recycle actually comes way lot later. Before the product should be maintainable. The longevity of the product is important. So what do? Repair is the first major aspect of a product, and it is also the consumer responsibility because manufacturer can't do anything if the product is functional, but we are not taking the first step of repairing it. The second step is about reusing the parts, wherein you know that I can't use the gadget now, or it can't be serviced or repaired anymore. So the manufacturer comes in picture and he say go to the reseller, he will take the parts. Now the third step is refurbishing.
Sorry, just one example of this. You said reusing the parts, too.
Yeah.
So I have Sunil in our group. So Sunil is part of our group, and he is offline, off the workshop. He is involved with us.
If you have a old computer, what do you do now, as of now? Suppose if it is not working,
Yeah.
then what you people do?
Then what do you do?
These computer shops, they'll give you at least some amount of money for it. They have a resale value, some amount.
So you want to no, if you think, because before years old it was working for you, right? It was working and it's a high speed computer. So it will be gifted by your friends or somebody. You will have a personal interest that I have to keep it. If I want to sell it to shop means. So what do you do in that cases?
Sorry, somebody said?
Somebody told. Okay, why don't we try for repairs from our own? We only can do it on our own, and we can just look online, we can just see the model numbers, and we can go for the repairs and it make this work. I have an example. I just did it a month back.
Yeah.
A month back. It is a very old computer. The buyer, the person who gave the computer to me, he has no ideas. He has given to explored all various markets. They told the parts won't be available, especially the RAM. Before all, you used to get the SD RAM, but now you won't get it. But what I did was I found out the problem that the display was not coming, and there was some motherboard issue, and the motherboard was very old. So what I did means I just tried out why can't I do it on the repair work and let me fix it out.
So basically, when I interact with Sunil, we have received this whole bunch of computers, and they're very old computers, they're very new computers. So Sunil gave me an idea, once I met him. I said it's going to be a major cost because it's old computers and all that. So he said, no, I don't think so. I said, why? He said, we can use this RAM of this old computer and put it into a new computer, it will be working. We'll put the hard drive of this computer and put it in a new computer.
Changing the components from the old computer to the new computer, it
can make it work.
It will make it work. At least the old computer you can make into a working condition so that your small babies or your small children can work.
Still use it, the kids can, some basic typing can be done or something can be done. We don't need to throw it. Recently we did this smartphone, Sunil also part of it. We repurposed this old smartphone into just using basic apps. You can change it into a CCTV camera. You don't need to go and buy a camera from the market.
How now processes are turning to cyclic economy systems rather than the linear systems, wherein basically maintenance or repair comes the first because it's least CO2 emitting, it's least it's the least botheration from both ends, the user as well as the manufacturer, unless the user recognizes it. And recycle probably is the last resort because it is as good as making the thing again. So you have more power, more emissions.
Right now, repair cafes are operating out of 24 countries and 950 locations. So keeping 70% as a repair rate, it comes out to be about 200,000 kgs of CO2, which is prevented emitting in the air. So this calculation is done as per the Dutch research by TNO, but the scale for the UK differs. It says 1 kg of item repaired becomes equal to 0.46 of CO2, which is prevented to emit in the air. I don't know about what is the standard followed in India. I am still researching for it. So if
there are no standards yet.
Yeah. So if any of you come across anything, please write to us at repaircafe.bengaluru@gmail.com. So I'm still searching what is the standard followed in India. Coming back to Repair Cafe Bengaluru. So we started on 28th of November 2015. So it just happened that I meet Antara just 2 months ago, and we were just sitting together on a cafeteria, trying to just pass our time, and we both were very interested that we want to do something around sustainability. But what do we do? Because I was part of in LNT, some part of I was doing this report which is Corporate Sustainability Index. And Antara is a part of this, Enthu Cutlet, which is a experimental outfit, which experiments on various.
Basically waste products out of waste, banana fiber, factory surplus. All we just take it and we try to make things out of that.
Yeah. So we were sitting across and we were thinking that what do we do, and after some few days she came out with this idea of repair cafe. She said, I'm sitting on it, but nobody's interested. So I said, oh wow, it's a great thing. And then we immediately ran to her workspace and we thought we'll organize the first repair cafe there, but somehow she is of the opinion that people won't be coming to this small space. So let's go to a place which is visible, something like, so we started with Rangoli Metro Art Center. All of you have seen the place? Yeah, that's our first repair cafe, and we sat for the whole day sitting for some repair to happen. And finally we did some repair. And we were surprised to see a lot of people came with their items, junk items, they wanted to give it us as an e-waste, because we have also said we are collecting e-waste. So we are surprised because we thought, people are also surprised that they said we never saw anything like repairing workshops happening. We saw always like something like a flea market or something like that, but we don't know repairers coming together and doing repair. This is something which is new to us. Going forward, we want to see more repair cafes happening. So that's what this whole session is all about. So, coming to the scorecard of Repair Cafe after 5 workshops, what we have achieved, So our repair rate that we've calculated is about 82%. We have been able to repair about 139 items. Last but not the least, I want everybody to repeat after me. Don't throw it.
Don't throw it.
If it is broken. Fix it. Thank you so much.